In the last class, we have completed the analysis of the FET amplifier towards getting into the gain at mid-band, low frequency and high frequency. So in that process, we found out the equivalent resistance across this RS. So this equivalent resistance, we got it as equal to something like this, which is nothing but equal to 1 by Gm in parallel to RS. The same relation directly we have used in the previous expression that we did for the low frequency analysis of the FET amplifier. So when we are discussing about this, see here, we use this R is nothing but equal to RS in parallel to 1 by Gm. The proof for this has been explained in the previous class. So day before that class, in the earlier class, we have just directly written this particular equation. So if you could able to remember that the equivalent resistance across these 2 points is equal to RS in parallel to 1 by Gm, you can remember and put it. So if you could not remember, try to know the method of solving or coming to this particular required equivalent resistance equations. So this is what we discussed in the last class. And last topic left over in this session is going to be the what is that transformer coupled amplifier circuits. So transformer coupled multi-stage amplifier circuits. We'll try to discuss this topic today to end up unit number 1. Okay. So in multi-stage amplifiers, we're going to have three types of couplings in general. The amplifiers can be coupled. The amplifiers can be coupled in a system by three types of coupling methods known as direct coupled amplifier, direct coupling method, transformer coupled method, and RC coupled amplifier method. So the most important methods are going to be the RC coupled amplifier method and transformer coupled amplifier method. So these two are a very popular methods, which is very important. So what do you mean by multi-stage amplifier? Multi-stage amplifier is nothing but interconnection of two or many amplifiers connected in chain is known as the multi-stage amplifier connection. So multi-stage amplifier is nothing but chain of the amplifiers connected one after the other is known as the multi-stage amplifier circuits. As we discussed, we have two types of multi-stage amplifiers called as cascaded amplifiers and cascode type of the amplifiers. So cascode we don't have in the syllabus, only cascade type of the amplifiers we have in the syllabus. So when interconnect different interconnect amplifiers of similar type, then it is called cascade. If you interconnect amplifiers of different types, then it is known as a cascode type of the amplifier stages. Now, if you see this amplifier stage, it is going to be the interconnection of various stages. First stage, the second stage, third stage. So this first stage and second stage are connected by a coupling network, and second stage and third stage connected by coupling network, and these couplings can be done by using three types of coupling methods. One is going to be called as RC coupling, transformer coupling, and direct coupling. So now the popular methods of this coupling is going to be RC couple and transformer coupling methods. In the previous sessions we discussed about the RC coupled amplifiers. So I'll just wanted to give you a gist of RC coupled amplifier before we go into the transformer coupled amplifiers. That means you should know the advantages and disadvantages of RC coupled amplifiers so that we understand the importance of going to the transformer coupled amplifier stage for us. Okay. Now in this particular, now why we normally going to couple one stage to the another stage, or why we need multi-stage amplifiers? We need multi-stage amplifiers for especially two important reasons: to get high fidelity in the case of frequency response, and also to get maximum gain. We normally going to go with this particular multi-stage amplifiers. There are two important reasons. To get a very good frequency response, more or less we can say that in order to get reasonably good frequency response, we normally go with the multi-stage amplifier circuits. So in this multi-stage amplifier circuits, we normally going to use various types of capacitors, going to be called as coupling capacitors and bypass capacitors. Coupling capacitors, as we discussed, can be used to couple the AC signal from output of one circuit to the input of another circuit. Therefore, it is called as a coupling circuit, coupling capacitors. Now this is known as a multi-stage amplifier circuit. Why it is called as multi-stage amplifier circuit? The output of one amplifier is connected as input to the another amplifier circuit. The output of this Q2 circuit, Q2 amplifier circuit is connected to the input of Q3 transistor amplifier circuit. So therefore it comes under simply a multi-stage amplifier circuit. Here if you see carefully, these two transistor amplifiers are connected by coupling. CC2 is connected by coupling CC2, and input stage is connected to the amplifier by CC1. Therefore, the CC1, CC2, CC3, CC4 can all be called as a coupling capacitors, because they are going to couple input signal to the output side of the circuit. Therefore, it is simply called as it is doing the action of coupling in general. Therefore, they are simply called as a coupling capacitors. Coupling capacitors are normally used to couple the AC input signal to the to couple the AC signal from input side of the circuit to the output side of the circuit. Therefore, it is normally named with the name called coupling capacitors. So after coupling capacitors, you're going to have the bypass capacitors. So bypass capacitors are normally used to get the gain of the amplifier. That means in order to get more AC gain, we normally going to use the coupling capacitors. So if you don't use this coupling capacitor, the AC gain becomes equal to simply zero. So because of this capacitor CE, what happens? The AC signal simply goes to the capacitor completely. For AC, capacitor acts like a short circuit. For DC signal, capacitor acts like a open circuit. So the current IE is normally going to be a combination of DC as well as AC. Why it is DC? Because the transistor, in order to operate any transistor circuit, any digital circuit for that matter, any electronic circuit for that matter, so it has to compulsorily be operated with the DC signal. So DC, because of DC signal, what happens? DC biasing takes place. Because of DC biasing, what happens? DC currents flows through the circuit, known as the biasing currents. So these biasing currents are always going to be DC, are always going to be DC. Remember this. So input AC signal is always going to be AC. So therefore, the current which is coming to the emitter is going to be a combination of DC, which is true because of biasing, and also AC because of the input signal. So because of this capacitor, what happens? All the AC is simply been transmitted to the capacitor. For the AC signal, capacitor acts like a short circuit, and for DC, it acts like an open circuit. So all the DC is normally going to flow through the RE. All the AC is normally going through the short circuit, replaced by the capacitor here to the ground. Thereby, you never get any AC voltage drop, AC signal voltage drop across the emitter. We get only the DC signal voltage drop across the emitter here. That means all the AC signal is been transmitted to the ground. From the ground, once again it comes to the AC, comes to the input source, and from the input source once again to the emitter. So like this, the AC signal is been transmitted without any loss. So because of this, proportionately this AC signal, whichever part is coming over here as the feedback signal, is coming as the output signal from this. Okay, that means there is no loss of the AC signal in the RE resistor because of this particular bypass capacitor. So this bypass capacitor is used to get the AC gain, which is going to be greater than 1 always. This is what the necessity of going for the bypass capacitor. Now, in general, we normally going to get a frequency response like this. At a resonant frequency, the amplifier is going to give us a maximum voltage gain. So this voltage gain is going to be maximum. So if you don't go for the what is that, multi-stage amplifiers, the gain is going to be maximum only very narrow band of signal. Therefore, for narrow band amplifiers, we're going to use a single amplifier stage. But for wideband applications, wideband means what? For a wide range of frequencies, the gain should remain constant, known as wideband amplifiers. So in order to construct wideband amplifiers, we normally go with the multi-stage amplifiers, known as RC coupled amplifier, which we discussed earlier. And the gain what we get, we usually going to consider the gain as a gain in dB. Why we normally consider gain in dB? Because if you consider gain only in ratios, we have to keep on multiply the gain of one amplifier with the gain of another amplifier. Like that, the more number of amplifiers you connect, the more number of individual amplifier gains has to be multiplied to get the overall gain of the amplifier circuit. So here multiplication is normally going to be there in the numerical value gain. Now when you transform this numerical value into dB gain, then you have to simply add up the gains of the individual amplifiers. That means multiplication is simply converted into the arithmetic addition. So therefore it is simply going to be very easy task for us to find out the overall gain of the amplifier if you convert the gain in dB scale. So that is why we are simply converting, for simplification purpose, we are converting gain into dB in general. So if you use a multi-stage amplifier, see somewhat the bandwidth has been increased, where before F1 the gain is going to be very less, which is going to be less than 3 dB gain, and after F1 the gain is increasing to the maximum, but which is going to lie in between the maximum and 3 dB gain. 3 dB gain is known as the half power gain, which we already discussed earlier. So it is known as half power gain. So because of that, what happens, we normally going to consider uh, the gain which is between GM and 0.707 GM is going to be the useful gain of the amplifier to be taken into consideration. So what is the bandwidth of this amplifier? It is going to be F2 minus F1, the F2 minus F1 over the range of the 3 dB gain. So at this value, we are getting the gain something like this. Therefore, how do we define the bandwidth of an amplifier? So therefore, the bandwidth of an amplifier can be defined as a range of frequencies over which the voltage gain is equal to or greater than the range of frequencies over which the gain is normally going to be equal to or greater than the 3 dB gain, is known as the bandwidth of the amplifier circuit. So this is what the definition of the gain, which is very important for amplifier circuits. Okay, this we discussed, and we discussed about the RC coupled transistor amplifier stage. Now this is the basic circuit of a RC coupled transistor stage. Now, because it is electronic circuit, it has to be operated by DC. So we are applying DC plus VCC. Because of VCC, DC, biasing is normally going to apply to the two transistors via this R1, R2 known as biasing resistors, and the Q point is normally going to get stabilized because of RE known as thermal stabilization resistor, and because of CE, AC gain is normally being applied, and because of CC and Cin, we normally going to couple only AC signal between input and output side of the component capacitor. Now here, this is what one of the amplifier stage is being connected to the next amplifier by capacitor. So this coupling, this is nothing but a coupling, RC coupled amplifier. The load resistance of this first stage is being connected to the capacitor. Therefore, it is simply called as a RC coupled. Because of this connection, we simply call it as a RC coupled amplifier. So in general, we consider the effective resistance. What is the effective resistance? Now, when you draw the AC equivalent circuit, this point is simply connected to the ground. That means if this is taken as C1, C1 is connected to the ground via RC1, and also R1, R2 connected to ground, and input resistance of this is connected to ground. So the effective resistance is going to be called as the R for us, and this is going to be C. That means the output of this circuit is coupled to the input of this particular amplifier transistor circuit is coupled through the effective R and C. Therefore, it is simply called as a RC coupled type of the amplifier circuit. So the coupling has been done by using RC coupled amplifier. And we simply discussed the gain, frequency response of this amplifier, where we got reasonably flat frequency response. See, the lower cutoff frequency is going to be 50 Hz, upper cutoff frequency is going to be at 20 kilohertz. What is the difference? this is going to be quite low. 50 hertz is very, very less than 20 kilohertz. If you approximate it to zero, approximately we can say 20 kilohertz is going to be the bandwidth. So for a 20 kilohertz bandwidth, the gain is going to be uniform. It is going to be fixed. It is going to be constant. So therefore, we say this amplifier circuit is giving an output with a high fidelity. High fidelity amplifier circuit with more high fidelity in frequency. What is fidelity? Fidelity is nothing but equal to the maximum output received by the receiver over a range of frequencies is known as fidelity. So in this range, the circuit is normally going to deliver maximum power into the load. That is what called high fidelity. So high fidelity is normally achieved because of this particular RC coupled amplifier stage. So what's happening here in the case of RC coupled amplifier stage? The output of this amplifier, which is going to be amplified version of the input, is applied to the input of this. So that means it provides some gain. This amplifier is going to provide some gain. What is the overall gain we get? It is going to be simply a multiplication of gains of these two amplifier stages. Because of that, the overall gain is also going to get improved. And also frequency response is also going to get improved because of this particular coupling capacitors and the bypass capacitor, which we have discussed earlier, the effects of the coupling capacitor and bypass capacitor on the frequency response of the amplifier stages. Right. So now we should discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of this particular amplifier stage. The first advantage what we can think of is going to be something like the input resistance of an amplifier is always going to be low than the output resistance of the amplifier circuit. Now when the high resistance, output resistance is usually going to be high, input resistance is always going to be high. When you couple these two, what is the effective resistance of these two? High resistance is in parallel combination with low resistance. So the resultant is going to be definitely a load, is definitely going to be a low resistance. So therefore, there is an impedance mismatch between output of the amplifier and input of the amplifier. See, if the resistance at the output stage of the amplifier is equal to the resistance at the input stage of the amplifier, then only the maximum power is going to get transferred from first stage to the second stage. So because of mismatch in the impedance, the maximum power transfer could not be taken place in the case of the RC coupled amplifier. That is what one problem. Next problem is usually these amplifier, RC coupled amplifier is normally preferred in the audio amplifier stages. Audio amplifiers means what? Your loudspeaker applications. So loudspeaker application means what? This amplifier circuit output should be connected to a speaker. What is the input resistance of speaker is always going to be very, very less. It is going to be, less than 10 ohms in general. So less than 10 ohms is going to be the internal input resistance of the speaker. Why the resistance of the speaker should be very less? Because the speaker should oscillate very fast to the input variation, to the input frequency variations in order to produce, because the speaker is normally going to have a diaphragm. So this diaphragm is always going to oscillate, is going to always oscillate, or is always going to move from one place to another place, just like a pendulum. Because of that, oscillations are going to get produced. So these oscillations, that means this diaphragm is simply known as a transducer, converts the electrical signal into the acoustic signals. That is what the basic property of a diaphragm in general. So therefore it has to oscillate, so it has to move physically. So that means if the resistance is very less, then only it can able to move very freely. A lightweight person can climb a hill very easily than a heavyweight person. A lightweight person can walk more than a heavyweight person. It is something like this. That means the performance in terms of walking of a lightweight person is going to be more than the performance of a heavyweight person. That is what the basic concept we already know. That means if the diaphragm resistance is low, it can oscillate very fastly. The performance is going to get increased if resistance is really very less. So that is where here also normally going to have the impedance mismatch. This is the output, that means the input resistance of speaker which we connect to the output of this amplifier stage is going to be in the range of tens of ohms. The output resistance amplifier is going to be in the range of mega ohms. Now there is going to be a huge mismatch between the output resistance of the amplifier circuit and input resistance of the speaker. Here also maximum power transfer could not be taken place. This that means due to the impedance mismatch, maximum power transfer could not be done in the case of the RC coupled amplifier is the highest major problem in this. Due to this reason, what happens, the gain of the amplifier is simply going to get reduced in the case of this particular amplifier stage. Even though we get a better good bandwidth, but the gain is always going to be very less in the case of this type of the amplifiers. So this is what the drawback which normally makes us to think about another type of the multi-stage amplifier. So let us try to enumerate the differences here now. It has excellent frequency response because the bandwidth is going to be very good. Therefore, I can say the frequency response is good because frequency response is more or less, more or less compared with the fidelity. So if the fidelity is very high, which means what? The frequency response is very good. That means the system is transferring a large range of frequencies, okay, transmitting large range of frequencies equally. The gain is going to be equal. So the gain is constant over the audio frequency range, which is region of most importance for the speech and the music signals. It has lower cost because it requires only the resistors and capacitors. Both of them are going to be cheaper in the market. Circuit is very compact. It's going to be very small circuit, as the modern resistors and capacitors are coming with a small size and small weight, less weight, small size with less weight. What are the drawbacks? Now, due to these drawbacks, we are simply moving forward towards thinking in terms of the transformer coupled amplifier. The reasons of going to transformer coupled are the drawbacks of the RC coupled amplifier. Let us see the drawbacks. Disadvantages of RC coupled amplifier. The RC coupled amplifiers have a low voltage and power gain. This is what I was talking about. Due to impedance mismatch, the voltage gain is going to decrease drastically. So if voltage gain decreases, definitely power gain also going to decrease 100%. So therefore, it is because the low resistance presented by the input of each stage to the preceding stage decreases, the effective load resistance is also normally going to decrease. So because of this particular thing, impedance mismatch, what happens? The gain is normally going to decrease. This is the reason why we normally going to use the transformer coupled amplifiers. Okay, so they have a tendency to become noisy with age, particularly in moist climates. They are going to be noisy because resistance is there. Resistance is noisy in nature. The two stages are coupled by a resistor and a capacitor combination. That resistor is there. So therefore, resistor is noisy in nature. So it's normally going to be noisy. So impedance matching is very poor. It is because the output impedance of RC coupled amplifier is several hundred ohms, whereas the input impedance of the speaker is only few ohms. Therefore, the output from the amplifier could not be the maximum. The more output of the amplifier, the output could not. The output of amplifier could not be transferred. Entire output of the amplifier could not be transferred to the speaker. So that is why we won't get the expected response from the speaker circuit because of this particular RC coupled amplifier stage. Now these are the drawbacks. Now these drawbacks really uh, makes us to think about another type of the amplifier, another type of multi-stage amplifier called as a transformer coupled multi-stage amplifier circuit. So applications of RC coupled amplifier is basically, as I was talking to you, audio amplifier stages. So we usually prefer this RC coupled amplifier because of its excellent audio fidelity over a wide range of frequencies. We use this in the audio amplifier stages. So RC coupled amplifier has a feature of excellent audio fidelity over a wide range of frequencies. Therefore, they are widely used as a voltage amplifiers. Now, the voltage audio, that means voltage amplifier means what? Audio frequency applications, audio frequency amplifier is going to have a chain of amplifiers. So in that chain, this audio amplifier, voltage amplifiers is going to be the initial stage of the public address system. RC coupled amplifier is connected as the first stage of the amplifier because it provides a very good fidelity, very good frequency response. Only problem is that gain is less. So we require more gain. We require more gain when we connect the amplifier to the speaker. We require more gain when we connect the amplifier to the speaker. So therefore, if you use RC coupled amplifier to be used to connect it to the speaker, then the speaker is not going to produce more sound. So therefore, in the last stage of the audio amplifier stage, we connect a transformer coupled amplifier, which provides very good impedance matching for us. So because of that reason, what happens is that maximum power is normally going to get transferred and the speaker is normally going to give us a better performance for us. So there we normally going to use the transformer coupled amplifier. That means to improve the performance of the speaker, we normally use the what is this transformer coupled amplifier. So speaker is also internal to the speaker. It is also going to be the kind of a control system based on the what is that called transducer. So the speaker, the heart of the speaker is going to be diaphragm. Diaphragm is known as the transducer, which converts electrical signals into the acoustic signals. Now, if other type of coupling like transformer coupling is employed in the initial stages, this results in frequency distortion. So transformer coupled amplifier is normally going to have, there is a problem with the transformer coupled amplifier. It normally introduces a lot of frequency distortion, which we'll discuss just now, which may be amplified in the next stages. And due to that, frequency distortions becomes a serious problem at the later stage to remove. So we cannot remove the frequency distortions at the later stage. Therefore, we don't prefer this transformer coupled amplifier at the initial stage. We prefer RC coupled amplifier at the initial stage because the frequency distortion should not get amplified in the intermediate stages and reach to the final stage. It really going to become a serious problem at the input of the speaker when you amplify the frequency distorted signals. Okay. So this is what the reason why we are simply moving ourselves to the transformer coupled amplifier. Now we discuss about the transformer coupled amplifier. Now this is pretty simple in terms of the impedance matching now. So let us look into this transformer coupled amplifier. Let us see now how we are connected now. So this entire stage is stage 1. This is stage 2. The output of stage 1 is connected to the input of stage 2 using a transformer. That is the reason why the coupling between input stage and output stage is going to be done by using a transformer. Therefore, it is simply called as a transformer coupled amplifier. Now, the thing is that the transformer is normally work on the principle of magnetic induction. It works on the principle of magnetic induction means what? The electrical signal is not directly connected to the secondary of the transformer. The electrical signal is converted into magnetic signal, and this magnetic signal is coupled to the process of magnetic induction because of transformer action. and after this, after it converts into magnetic signal, this magnetic signal is once again reconverted into electrical signal. So that means these conversions are going to take place continuously. So in order to provide this kind of magnetic induction property, this coil should be magnetic in nature. This coil should be, sorry, inductance in nature. The more the coil is going to have inductive property, more is going to be the action of a transformer here. Therefore, usually the internal resistance, ideally the internal resistance of the transformer should be equal to 0. Should be equal to 0. So because of this particular thing, what happens is that, that means usually practically every transformer is going to have some internal resistance, and this resistance will be more or less matching to the internal resistance of the transistor amplifier circuit, because the input resistance of amplifier is going to be small and the internal resistance of the transformer is also going to be small. So these two are going to be almost all same in general. So thereby what happens, maximum power is normally going to get transferred to the secondary transformer. Because of that reason, because impedances got matched here, the output impedance of the first stage is matched with the input impedance of the second stage. Because of that reason, maximum power is going to get transferred from stage 1 to stage 2, similarly from stage 2 to the speaker side. So that means because of all these things, maximum power transfer, we normally use the transformer coupled amplifier. But what is the problem that transformer coupled amplifier, it suffers with the frequency distortion. See, the problem of transformer is that the transformer is having a windings at the output side. If you see carefully, these two terminals are connected to the input of the amplifier circuit. Now as the frequency increases, because these two are the two lines of a copper wire, internally there exists a stray capacitance between the copper wires. Now as the frequency increases, what happens? At low frequencies, the gain is going to be very less. At low frequencies, gain is going to be very less. Therefore, as the input frequency is going to increase, gain is going to increase very slowly. Okay. So after certain time period, what happens here? The gain is going to become constant for limited frequency duration. Then later on, what happens is that as the frequency increases more, suddenly there is going to be a raise in the gain of the amplifier you're going to observe. And as the effect of this stray capacitance and the output is going to increase in these terminals, then it is normally going to transmit all that to flow through this. Thereby, the AC gain is normally going to raise suddenly. And this reactance is normally going to come in parallel to this. So as this reactance is normally going to come in parallel to this, what happens is suddenly the gain is normally going to have a abrupt change. It raises and falls down suddenly. So because of this problem, what happens is that the frequency distortion is taking place here. So this is what the problem here with the transformer coupled amplifier. It suffers with the frequency distortion. So we need to operate this particular transformer coupled amplifier only in this limited region. So if this limited region is made equal to the range equal to the audio frequency range by the design parameters, we can able to use this at the output stage of the amplifier. So even though we have the frequency distortions, but we can still really manage with this. So if you want more gain, more speaker output response, then you have to use this at a very high gain. Okay. So these are all the some of the pros and cons of this particular frequency response of the multi-stage amplifier circuit. Now the advantages side, let us come to the advantage side. What is the advantage? No signal power is lost in the collector or the base of the resistors. Because of impedance matching, no signal loss in the collector side. An excellent impedance matching can be achieved in a transformer coupled amplifier. Because of this, it is easy to make the inductive reactance of primary equal to the output impedance of the transformer, and inductive reactance of secondary equal to the input impedance of the next stage. So due to excellent impedance matching, transformer coupling provides higher gain. So as a matter of fact, a single stage of properly designed transformer coupled can be can provide the gain of two-stage just of RC coupling. That means single stage RC transformer coupled amplifier can provide the gain equivalent to the two-stage RC coupled amplifier. So that is what the advantage. There are some drawbacks here. It has poor frequency response. That is the gain varies with considerably with frequency. See the frequency response. The frequency response should be ideally flat, but it is not flat. It is changing. The gain is changing with respect to frequency. Therefore, it has got a poor frequency response because gain is going to vary considerably with frequency. So the coupling transformers are bulky. Usually transformer is an electrical device, not an electronic device. So it is bulky in nature and fairly expensive at audio frequencies. So it is definitely going to be expensive at audio frequencies. Weight of the circuit is going to increase because of the transformer. So frequency distortion. Therefore, the speaker size, if you see, speaker weight is going to be more. Inside speaker, you usually going to have the transformers. Frequency response is higher. Frequency distortion is higher. That is, low frequency signals are less amplified as compared to high frequency signals. So distortion means what? Low frequency signals are less amplified than the high frequency signals. As the frequency increases, stray capacitance effect here is normally going to increase. It is normally going to allow more amount of signal to pass through it and more AC gain is going to come. Therefore, gain increases. And impedance matching, the key here is going to be the impedance matching. That means imagine there is a load resistance RL, which is going to be a very small value of 100 ohms. This load resistance effect we can consider as the primary. RL can be transferred into the primary side and by using the turns ratio, something like NP by RNS. All this is what transformer action, which we have seen in the electrical technology subject. So same kind of a thing over here we can normally going to have. So because of this transformer transformation technique, load resistance transformation technique, we normally going to achieve the impedance matching. Okay, so this is what the transformer coupled type of the network, type of coupling. So next coupling is going to be direct coupling. If you see carefully, see this is one stage of the transistor amplifier, another stage of transformer amplifier, another stage transfer. Three amplifier stages are there here. So one amplifier is connected to another amplifier directly. So therefore, it is nothing but a direct coupled amplifier stages. So direct coupled amplifiers are normally preferred for coupling with CC amplifiers or emitter follower. See here, this is an emitter follower. For emitter follower circuits, we are normally going to prefer the direct coupling. Okay. So this is what the various multi-stage amplifiers which we have. So with this, we have completed the unit 1 portion. Right. In the next sessions, we start with unit 2. Okay. And in the gap period from tomorrow onwards, we are not going to post the classes, and I'll be giving you the assignment questions on unit 1. So try to go with those assignments. Along with that, I'll give you the notes. Whatever that I explained just now, I'll share with you, and you can just prepare notes for your AEC subject. And the problem with AEC is what I think you might be observing now. The problem here is going to be the circuit diagram and the analysis. So these two are going to be typical. All circuits are going to be the amplifier circuits. Since all circuits are amplifier circuits, you will get confused with one amplifier circuit with another amplifier circuit. Therefore, you should be very careful while you draw the circuit diagram of an amplifier at AC level. Then analysis of the AC equivalent model is also going to be a very big crucial issue. So therefore, the only goal is that practice. If you practice more, you will be really landing at a safer place in the examination hall, because time is going to be very less in the examination hall. You cannot get time to write this paper in the exam hall. Why? Because it normally involves with a lot of analysis. This analysis takes time if you don't practice. If you practice more, you should always do the analysis at very faster rate in the exam. The more you practice, the better you will be, and your speed of doing analysis in the exam is also going to increase. So due to this speed problem, in the examination, most of the people are not scoring this particular subject due to analysis. If you could able to do analysis, this subject is going to be 100% a scoring subject, because the analysis is going to be mechanical in nature. So mechanical means what? It is something like opening the screw and closing the screw kind of operation. That means a procedure is going to be fixed. You should understand the procedure. Once you know the procedure and practice the procedure, that procedure remains same. The examiner cannot ask any question other than that. So definitely it is going to be a fixed predefined procedure. So a mechanical procedure, I usually call it as. Whenever there is no complexities or tricky things are involved in the problem, I simply call that kind of a problem as a mechanical problem, because there is no trick in that. So it is simply a procedure which has to be followed. Once you follow procedure, whoever follows the procedure, they really land up comfortably. So thank you very much for the today's session. Okay, so let us end up our session now.